My son is 2, so he shuffles MTG cards in his hand. I guess a collected company here means we're not just dead. Alright, and also means we're not just dead if his last card isn't good, I guess. Since he decided to kill my Dragon Master Outcast that didn't have 6 lands. So we play a lot of Constructed Magic here. I also play Constructed Hex TCG, it's another, or CCG. Another fun game. So you can crack us with Fomerol. If his hand is bricks, or we like rip a collected company here, we could be in good shape. I stream a lot during the week during the daytime, so if you haven't seen me before, that's probably why. But I'm going to try and do some more weekends. I don't want to trade this with the Fomerol, so I'm just going to take the hit for 4 here. So I'm pretty sure he trades there. Can he activate both of those? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He can't activate both Fomerols, so I have to block one of them this turn. Otherwise, we die. Okay. Green cards have been very kind to me. They paid for the bulk of my wedding, so that was years ago, and they paid for a lot of other things since then. Large chunks of my mortgage. So, Collected Company into Double Rider, Collected Company into Double Knuckleblade, Collected Company into Rider Knuckleblade. I played this Collected Company deck. I'm not sure. It depends. Like, streaming's been picking up, so if we do more good things streaming, you know, I might just, you know, stream a little bit more on the weekends. It also depends on, like, where I'm at in their Player of the Year race. So if like their Player of the Year race is looking reasonable for me, I'm more inclined to continue going to events because their Player of the Year gets 3 buys to all opens next year. So I'd be the only one with 3 buys. You also get free open entry, which is worth, you know, a few $1,000s if you go to as many opens as I do. Also, if I manage to stay in exactly first this season, I get free open entry to every open next season, which encourages me to continue to at every opens next season. Speaking as someone who likes trying to go to all the opens, all of my playmats are sitting in a box in my basement. I should probably sort through them and try and sell them at some point, but I have not felt inspired to do that. This hand's obviously great. We just need to figure out how we're sequencing our lands. So probably Prairie Stream Mountain, and then we can go Forest or Island, depending on if we draw Mantis Rider or want to cast Knuckleblade. The dip is this really delicious cream cheese dip, too, that my wife made. It's actually all gone now. It's like cream cheese and taco stuff and cheese and tomatoes. And Shady DK with the follow. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to get a basic Mountain and cast Jace. Maybe he lives. I have a dream, and the dream is that I draw a card with this Jace next turn. Well, Jace, we tried. We tried, Jace. We did our best. It's possible I'm supposed to just play Sylvan Advocate there. I'm probably just supposed to play Sylvan Advocate there. This is a roast. He would have died anyways. Nope. Oh, yeah, it's a roast. Okay, so it would have died anyways. I can play Advocate because I can play Knuckleblade Hasted next turn because this fetches Green-Red Duel. I have almost every open playmat they've printed. If you have the Regionals playmat, Message me on Facebook about which playmat you're looking for, and send me a picture of the playmat that you're looking for. I basically have all of them, including most of the regional playmats. Well, I said this hand was obviously great. That obviously great implied that we drew a spell at some point. I guess the good news is we're going to turn on Sylvan Advocate on 6 if he's still alive. You should do a task per playmat giveaway. The playmats vary in price depending on what they are. Like, the Tassa per playmats actually sell for a good chunk of change. I think they're like $50 on eBay. The vendors were buying them at like 25 or 30 at one point, so I'm assuming they're at least 50. The only playmat I don't have a lot of is the Hoppin' Rabbit Master playmat, because I didn't play a lot of opens the last season of last year because I knew I was dead for the Players' Championship because of all of the IQ points, so I just like stopped playing in them. So opponent's at 12, but he's got 6 cards, some of which are presumably spells, and we don't have any spells. That being said, if we just like play Lumbering Falls and draw Collected Company, things could be great. Token sets. I have piles of tokens around here as well. What I really miss are the days when they gave us... Oh, he can just flash back the roast here. That's gross. I think we were supposed to play the Knuckle Blade and punch him, though. It's probably fine. If he doesn't have a second removal spell, so he can just roast the Knuckle Blade, and if he can't punch the Sylvan Advocate as well, the Advocate can kill his Jace. Favorite card of all time? Probably Bird's Paradise. The card's great. The Jeff Hoogland accessory store. Pick your favorite SCG paraphernalia. Hoogland will ship it. Alright, so it's annoying that he has Jace because he can just fog one of our guys next turn and then kill it. That being said, I think I'm just supposed to like jam here anyways, because next turn I want to fire up Lumbering Falls, and this way we hit him for 2 this turn. So this attack puts him to 9, and then like we're Mantis Riders off the top away from killing him. Pentachills with the host, thanks. Welcome to the Hex viewers. We're playing Magic this evening. I do stream a lot of Constructed Hex on here as well. Or, we stream some Constructed Hex. We stream more Magic than Hex, but I enjoy Hex a lot, so we stream that as well. I actually only have one of the Wolf tokens because you had to... I forget how you had to get those, but they didn't give them to you for free. So this is probably a Crackling Doom here. So he has to have another removal spell in his hand. Otherwise, like this Advocate plus this Lumbering Falls are going to take him to Browntown next turn. He might actually just roast... What did he target? He targeted roast. He might just roast the Sylvan Advocate, actually. No, roasted the Knuckle Blade, so he has a Crackling Doom in hand. Alright. Good old Mantis Rider. This is a good question. Who do we hit? Is the question that I have to ask. Let's play Flooded Strand. Let's play this. Crack for Island. Could fire up Lumbering Falls. Yeah, I think I'm firing up Lumbering Falls as opposed to playing out the Mantis Rider. The question is, do I hit the Jace or do I hit him? I think we're just supposed to attack him. So we can kill the Sylvan Advocate here, and then he takes 3. Is he just dead? Alright. Sometimes they have 4 cards and none of them do anything. You know? Alright. That was the upside. I was going to say we hit him for 3 down to 6, and then we have Mantis Rider plus Lumbering Falls left over after he kills the Advocate, but... Or he's just dead, and we're 4-0 in this league now. Alright. You know, you'll hear me say a lot, especially with the big red deck in Legacy, that you are the question deck, and this deck is the question deck. You're asking your opponent, is this good? Do you have it? Are you dead? Is this one good? Are you dead? Is this collected company into these idiots good? Are you dead? And you just like keep playing like all of these really efficient threats that have like they're just like they're stats creatures. Like their stats are they're what do we call them? They're rate creatures, I think is what we call them. They're like their power and toughness and their abilities is really good for the mana cost that you're paying for them. Would you play Advocate Marty Green? Probably. Advocate's a really powerful card. I just like Advocate a lot in this format. I think this card is more powerful. If this card and Tarmogoyf were both in Standard, I think you would play Advocate over Tarmogoyf. The answer is you'd probably play both, but like if you could only play one or the other, I think you'd play Advocate over Tarmogoyf. I will sign whatever Magic cards you bring to me. This hand is very good. We won the die roll, so we go Lumbering Falls, Mountain Plains. Like we hit a 4th land that's untapped on 4. We get to just like smack him with the CoCo. That's another Needlespires deck. It's like, this deck, if you want to beat decks that play Shambling Vents, this deck seems like, and actually, that's a really good question. I'm going to need to test against this deck a lot with Black-White before I decide to play Black-White in Indy, because this deck has just been crapping on every deck to play Shambling Vents. And this type of deck historically doesn't deal very well with large Secure the Waste, so I think that might give us a small edge. But in general, like the types of cards this deck plays are just like very good against decks that like want to play Shambling Vents. 4-color lands deck in Standard. I've signed Brainstorm, so Reality Smasher is not that much of a stretch. And this card is a really good addition. Illusions donate. Your thing's going to come up on my chat there because it comes up on stream. You should add me on Facebook and send me a message on there, and I will sort through it later. So opponent's playing some kind of brew. What does this do? Never a core. If equipped a creature attacks, put a 1/1 flying and attacking. All right. Do you have a land drop? You don't have a 3rd land. All right. So we're just gonna play CoCo into CoCo and take you to Browntown. All right. God bless Collected Company and all of its power and wonder, ladies and gentlemen. So what I should have done there is I should have played the fetch land to thin the deck, because now I also have to fetch and shuffle those cards back in. We're going to CoCo before we fetch, but still, it's not ideal. We should have fetched to thin beforehand. If this deck could support, what's it called? Matter Reshaper, I'd probably try and play that card. I like that card a lot. Alright, and this actually fetches a red source, so I was just say Savage Knuckleblade has haste here. All these Reflector Mages and now we're shuffling like all of these lands back into our deck with this fetch, so definitely should have played this fetch last turn and cracked it for Cinderglade. It's like all the RNG. Thankfully, we're hitting him for 6 here, down to 8, and we've got 4 points of burn in our hand, and we got a blue source for this Lumbering Falls, so OP's pretty dead. I actually won a game earlier where I missed on a CoCo and then hit 1 on the second CoCo, so... Alright, so opponent is dead. Hit him for 4. Just like an embarrassment of riches. Let's deal 4 damage to you. Opponent is dead. No idea what our opponent is doing. Probably going to sideboard pretty minimally here. Void Grafter seems okay against his deck full of red things. What's up, kiddo? His deck seems like it might be more aggressive, so perhaps I want to cut the Stratus Dancers. I'm just going to cut Stratus Dancers and bring in the Void Grafters for now. I don't really know what he's doing, so... 1 match away from the 5-0 in the league. Maybe I should give this deck more of a chance to like add another land to it. A lot of the matches I lost in the PTQ today were to not having enough lands, but that being said, after this league, we're going to shift gears to Black-White control like I tweeted about, so. We're over 400 people watching now. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for choosing to spend your Saturday evening here with me. Hope everyone's having a good night. We might win all of the fun packs. Hey, there's like $7 actual that you get out of this too. 4 CoCo. Yeah, all the CoCo. There is not a Jeff Hoogland Snapchat. That's not. It would just be like pictures of my kids. That's all I take pictures of. It's like pictures of my kids and like random magic stuff.